Have you ever wondered why the more you want something, the more it seems to slip away? You chase love and it hides. You chase success and it delays. You chase peace and chaos finds you. It's almost as if the universe is playing a cruel trick. But it's not. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows stronger." When you chase something, you create resistance, a silent message that says, "I don't have it yet." And the universe listens. The more you run toward your desire, the more life runs the other way. Not to punish you, but to teach you something profound, that the chase itself is proof of inner emptiness. And until that emptiness is seen, understood, and healed, the chase will never end. Desperation has a frequency. It may be invisible to the eyes, but it vibrates in your tone, your posture, your words, even your silence. When you chase someone or something with fear, fear of loss, fear of being alone, fear of missing out, you tell the universe, "I am not enough." And the universe always mirrors back what you believe. Jung believed that everything we feel we lack, love, validation, peace, already exists in our unconscious. It's just been buried by years of neglect and pain. When we don't connect with it inside, we start chasing outside, through people, through achievements, through constant motion. But nothing external can heal an internal wound. The chase is not about the other person or thing. It's about you trying to find the missing piece of your own soul. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It reflects what you are. Carl Jung said, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, it will tell you." When you chase love, the universe reflects your lack of self-love. When you chase power, it mirrors your feelings of powerlessness. When you chase validation, it keeps you surrounded by people who never see your worth. The universe is not against you. It is simply accurate. It is the most honest mirror you will ever face. Once you understand that every experience, every delay, rejection, or heartbreak is a reflection of your inner world, chasing becomes pointless. You start to look inward, where all things begin. There comes a sacred breaking point in every human life, a night where you can't keep running anymore. You are tired of the noise, the proving, the endless seeking. And in that exhaustion, something happens. You stop asking, stop fighting, stop pretending. And in that stillness, you hear something you've never heard before. Your soul, that silence isn't empty. It's full of truth. You realize that what you were chasing was never outside of you. You were chasing a reflection of your own unloved self. And when that realization dawns, something miraculous happens. The chase ends, and the healing begins. Letting go isn't about quitting. It's about trusting. It's a decision to stop controlling what's not yours to control. When you unclench your fists and release your grip on outcomes, something magical happens. Life starts moving again. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Letting go is how you bring your unconscious desires, fears, and attachments into the light. When you release control, you tell the universe, "I am ready to receive what is truly mine." And the moment you stop chasing, you make room for something better, something aligned, peaceful, and meant. Jung introduced a word that changed how we understand the unseen: synchronicity. It's when life stops being random and starts becoming poetic. The right person calls. The perfect opportunity appears. The exact book you need falls into your hands. But these coincidences don't appear when you're chasing. They appear when you're aligned. Synchronicity is a universe saying you're on the right path. It's not luck, it's resonance. When you stop chasing, your energy becomes calm enough for the universe to whisper its guidance. You stop demanding and you start noticing. The reason we chase so hard is because we're trying to fill a hole that never ends. A hole created by rejection, childhood wounds, or the illusion that we are not enough. Jung called this part of us the shadow, everything we've denied, rejected, or hidden. But here's the paradox. The shadow holds our power. When you finally face your shadow, your jealousy, insecurity, or loneliness, you reclaim your energy. The chase ends because you no longer need someone else to complete you. You become whole, and wholeness doesn't chase. It attracts. There is a deep, sacred wisdom in surrender, not the surrender of weakness, but the surrender of trust. It's a kind of energy that says, I no longer chase. I attract through peace. Jung called this inner feminine power the anima, the intuitive, creative, receptive part of the psyche. When you embody it, you don't need to run after things. They begin to find you, because your calmness becomes magnetic. Surrender is not the end of action. It's the beginning of alignment. Everything in existence vibrates at a frequency, including you. When you truly believe you are worthy, your energy changes. You walk differently. You speak differently. You expect differently. And the universe rearranges itself to match that vibration. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's energetic truth. It's saying, I no longer chase because I know what I deserve. And that knowing, that calm, unwavering certainty, pulls miracles toward you like gravity. The ego loves control. It wants to predict, manage, and manipulate every outcome. But Jung said, the pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Control is the illusion that safety lies in knowing. But life's magic only unfolds in trust. When you stop controlling and start allowing, you experience something powerful. You see that the universe was never against you. It was waiting for you to loosen your grip so it could finally work for you. Transformation doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It begins when life breaks you open. Jung called this process individuation, the journey of turning lead into gold, fear into awareness, pain into wisdom. It is the sacred art of inner alchemy. When you stop chasing the outer world, all that energy turns inward. You begin to feel emotions you once ran from: grief, loneliness, uncertainty. But as you sit with them, something shifts. Your pain becomes your teacher. Your loneliness becomes your mirror. And the very energy you once spent chasing others starts creating wholeness within you. That's the moment your vibration changes. You stop seeking light outside because you realize you are the source. After you stop chasing, the universe doesn't immediately reward you. It tests you, not because it wants to punish you, but because it wants to see if your energy has truly changed. The old patterns will return. The same kind of person may show up again. The same fears may whisper in your mind. And you'll be tempted to fall back into old habits of running, clinging, begging. But this time, you respond differently. You breathe. You stay calm. You say, I've learned this lesson before, and this time I choose peace. That's when the universe smiles, because it knows you've passed the test. You no longer chase the old. You're ready to receive the new. Stillness used to scare you. It felt like emptiness. But now you see it for what it truly is: power. Stillness is where you meet your higher self. It's where clarity replaces confusion. In the modern world, we are trained to always do, to always move. But Jung believed that the unconscious speaks only in silence, through dreams, through intuition, through symbols. When you slow down, you start to hear your soul again. That inner voice, the one you ignore while chasing noise, becomes clear, calm, and guiding. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It's the presence of awareness. And in that awareness, you realize the universe was never silent. You just weren't listening. To receive, you must open your hands. You cannot hold blessings with fists clenched in control. When you stop chasing, your energy becomes receptive, open, soft, magnetic. People feel it. Opportunities find you. The universe finally has space to deliver. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And when you live as your true self, calm, whole, aligned, you naturally receive what matches that truth. You no longer grab at life. You allow it to unfold. And somehow, everything you once chased now starts chasing you. Jung believed that every human being is born whole, but somewhere along the way, we forget. We begin to believe we are broken, unworthy, not enough. That belief creates the chase. But wholeness doesn't need to chase. When you remember your own completeness, you stop looking for someone else to fill you. You no longer fall for illusions. You see through them. You understand that love, peace, and success were never rewards from the outside world. They were reflections of your own inner harmony. And that's the true secret. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door, They were not denials. They were mirrors of your readiness. The universe never says no. It says, not yet. If you are vibrating in fear, you'll attract lessons that build courage. If you are vibrating in doubt, you'll attract situations that demand faith. And when you finally align with peace, the universe doesn't need to test you anymore. It sends everything you were waiting for, all at once. This is a law of resonance, not a law of effort, but of energy. When your inner world says, I'm ready, the outer world echoes. Here it is. Patience is not just waiting. It's trusting without anxiety. It's standing in faith when nothing is visible yet. Carl Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. Patience is that pain, purified into peace. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it. You trust the process. The same applies to your dreams, your healing, your relationships. When you stop chasing results, you align with divine timing. Patience becomes your superpower. Because the moment you stop demanding, when you tell the universe, I already know it's mine. Divine timing is a universe's choreography. Perfect, intricate, invisible. You can't rush it. You can only align with it. Sometimes what you want is ready, but you are not. You haven't yet grown into the version of yourself who can hold it without losing it. So life delays it, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Jung often said, life is a process of becoming. And that's what divine timing is. A process of becoming the person who can truly receive what you're asking for. When it finally arrives, it doesn't feel rushed. It feels right, because both you and the blessing have ripened together. At the end of the chase, there is no prize to collect. There is only you, the real you, the calm, grounded, complete version that doesn't need to prove anything anymore. You realize that everything you were running after was always pointing you back to yourself. The love you wanted from others, you learned to give it to yourself. The validation you sought, you no longer need it. The peace you begged for, it's been within you all along. And when you return home to yourself, you no longer fear losing things, because you understand nothing real can ever be lost. It can only change form. And then something miraculous happens. You wake up one day lighter. You're no longer waiting, no longer reaching. You're simply being. And from that state of being, life begins to unfold effortlessly. The person you once chased calls. The dream you once begged for opens its door. Not because you forced it, but because you became the person who naturally attracts it. This is the secret Jung tried to teach. When you stop chasing, you don't lose anything. You align with everything. The universe doesn't reward the desperate. It recognizes the aligned. And when you finally remember who you are, the universe says, now you're ready. Let me send everything that was waiting for you all along. Milky Way,